Hey guys, welcome back to Church Talk, where we talk about everything involving the local church. My name is Rob, and today we're going to be talking about how to become a great vocalist on your worship team. All right, today we're talking about vocalists on worship team. If you are a vocalist on your worship team, watch this video, share this video with others who you know who are maybe on your team or on another team somewhere. But stay tuned because I've got 5 tips on how to be a great worship team vocalist coming right up. Number one is be willing to take constructive criticism. Many times as a vocalist or a musician, but we don't want to be told that we don't sound good. We don't want to be told, hey, you're flat there, you're going sharp here, or you're not hitting the mark. Be willing to take that criticism and be willing to grow from that criticism. Sometimes we don't hear what other people are hearing. And there are ways to help with that. There's tons of videos out there to help your sound, and you can hire a vocal coach if you have the availability to do that. But there's a lot of videos out there for free that will help you with that. And one really simple thing to do with that is to get I don't have anything right now with me, but you can use your hands. If you put your hands up like this, or to put a book up here like this, what you're doing is you're forcing your ears to hear what you're projecting in front of you. Because without that, we're mainly hearing what we sound like inside of our head. We're hearing mostly our vocals going out in front of us, and our ears are picking up what we're hearing internally. And so we don't sound the same in our inner hearing as other people do. So when you put your hands out like this, or you put a book out here like this, or whatever, it allows your ears to pick up more so what you're projecting forward. And you'll be able to hear what other people are hearing and hear what your voice sounds like to everybody else. That's why if you record yourself, and this is another way to do it too, if you record yourself and then go back and listen to it, like, oh man, do I sound like that? And nobody likes to hear what they sound like at first because they sound so much different to everybody else. This is what we sound like to ourselves. So we have to get used to hearing ourselves, hearing what other people hear, and correcting the mistakes that we make with our pitch and with maybe our enunciation. Tip number 2, don't over-sing. We don't have to hit every single note in the scale. When you're singing, you don't have to get every single note that you can find in that scale. You can just simply sing. Also, I would say to sing where you are most comfortable. Most of the time on a worship team, we're all volunteers. We're not professional. And that's not saying that we're not good singers. It's just saying that many times if we're not a professional at something, we may not have the knowledge, and sometimes we may not have the know-how to do certain things with our instrument or our voices. And in our cases as vocalists, our voices are our instruments. So we may not know everything there is to know about how to achieve certain sounds and things of that nature. All we know is that this sounds good or this sounds bad, and I want to do this to make it sound good. If that's where you're at, sing where you're comfortable. Don't try to reach something that somebody else has, because what we're wanting to do on a worship team is lead people in worship, have them to sing along with us. We're not there for a show. We're not there to entertain people, but we are there to lead them in worship. And if we are singing far above them in our key or in our pitch and they can't reach it, they're not going to sing with us. They're going to sit back and listen, and they may come to you and say, oh, such a great job singing. And everybody likes to hear that, But what we failed to do was to get them to sing with us so that they are joining us in worship to the Lord, and they begin to just sit back and listen to us and have a good time. And that's okay if it's a concert, or if you are ministering to the people. But in worship, it's a little bit different. We're not ministering to the people during worship. We want the people to join with us to minister to the Lord. So sing where you're comfortable. And if that's down on a lower scale, that's okay, because people are going to be able to sing with you, and you're going to do a great job in getting people to join together with you. Also, when you sing just what's comfortable. Now, practice is the time when we do things that aren't comfortable. That's when we want to grow. And that allows us to do those things that are not very comfortable right now, that it becomes comfortable. And we can lead in those areas and grow in those areas while we're practicing, so that when we're leading people, those things become second nature. But when you are leading people from a place of comfort from your vocal cords, you're not straining your vocal cords, you're not trying to hit certain notes. When you're comfortable with your voice and you're just singing out, then you become easier to follow. When you don't have to focus on hitting that note or whatever it is, and you don't become tense, because you know you can hit it, you know you're going to be there, you just do it. But when we tense up and we wonder, am I going to be able to get it, or you're stressed about hitting these certain parts or whatever, then all of a sudden you're not very easy to follow, and you're getting tense and you're getting stressed, and it's going to affect how you sing. But if we are relaxed and we know we can reach those places we're going, and we're singing, for lack of a better term, we're comfortable, we're relaxed, then it's easier to follow you, and you're going to be able to, which leads right into our next tip. Tip number 3 is to make eye contact with the congregation. Now, there are some songs I would say we don't need eye contact, because many times I will sing with my voice. I always sing with my voice. I'll sing with my eyes closed. There's times I'm focusing on the Lord, my eyes are closed, and I'm just singing to the Lord. And I open up my eyes, and then I have to focus on the people to gauge where they are. Are they with me? Because when we are leading worship, we are leading the people, but we're still worshiping the Lord. So we can't get it so much to the point of leading people that we forget that we're worshiping the Lord also. We're not trying to herd these people into the presence of the Lord, but we're leading them. So if we don't go ourselves, they're not going to follow us into the presence of the Lord. They're going to follow us to nowhere. So if we're constantly focused on the people, then we're trying to herd them in somewhere rather than lead them in. So it's okay to close your eyes, but I would say, as we can, if we can make eye contact with people, especially in those songs where there needs to be a communication from the platform to the people, that moment when you're not talking to the Lord in this song, but you're talking about Him. You're telling I wouldn't say you're telling a story, because that's not so much in worship, but a lot of times we are giving praise and we're saying what the Lord has done type of song. Those type of songs, we do need to give that eye contact with the congregation. Number one, to keep them focused on what is going on worship, but also to relay the message of that song to those people. So yeah, there's that good line of communication between you all on the platform and those in the congregation. That you keep that line of communication open, and you're communicating what the song is saying in that moment. Number 4, I would say to sing how the song is needing to be sung. Just as we talked about on a past video about playing guitar or playing your instrument, how it needs to be played for the song, the singing is the same. We can't just come in and sing strong all the time because that's just how I sing. I'm a loud singer. I'm a strong singer. Well, you also need to learn how to sing quiet and how to sing soft at times. There are sometimes we want to come in and sing very softly, because that's what the song is requiring. That's the way we need to move about right now. It's not just this all the time sing real strong. So we need to learn how to sing dynamically, how to sing soft, how to build it just a little bit, and then how to really just let it fly. So we need to sing how the song is needing to be sung. Watch your worship leader, if it's your worship pastor or another leader, watch how they're singing, listen to how they're singing it, and match the energy that they're putting out. If they're singing softly, then we need to sing softly as well. If they're getting a little bit stronger, then we can get a little stronger. Because what can happen is, I've been on teams before too. I won't say they've been on teams, but I've led teams before, to where starting a song really soft, and the singers will come in and completely overpower because they're not singing softly with me. They're singing strong. They're singing like just strong. So then all of a sudden I can't sing that dynamically because they're over top of me. So I've got to bring my level up to match what they've done so that it wouldn't sound strange or weird or whatever. I'm sure it probably did sound strange or weird, but I had to bring my level up to match their level so we were all together. And so what we need to do as far as you on your worship team as a vocalist is to watch your leader. And I'm not saying to just continually like watch them, because that would be weird. But do look over at times. Make sure that if you're wearing in-ears that your leader is at a good level in your ear, so that you can hear what he or she is singing, how they're singing, and that will tell you how you need to sing that song as well. If you're leading the song, then you're the one setting if it's low or soft or stronger. And we need to serve the song and serve that song to the Lord in the best way that it can sound. And if we're just coming at it with a strong vocal all the time, then we're taking the dynamics out of it, and we're serving the Lord something that it's almost like if we're gonna serve the Lord a steak, we're gonna serve it on a platter, and the steak is completely well done, burnt to a crisp, whatever. It's because the whole entire time we had the oven up on broil and we just put it in for an hour. And that's kind of like the same thing when we serve him the songs we're serving him. If we just like go at it real hard all the time, there's no dynamic to it. It's like serving them up something that's just overdone. When we take our time and we bake that or fry that or whatever it is you're cooking, however, and you get it just right. You got the temperature right, you got the spices right, you took it in at the right time, all these different things that go into the method of how you would cook that steak or cook that meal or whatever. It's the same thing with our music, and with our vocal. We want to serve the Lord something that has been prepared and isn't just put in a hot oven and burnt to a crisp, just one temperature all the way across. We want him to enjoy what it is that we are serving him. So that's when we say serve the song. It means not so much that you are serving the song, but you're offering that song up for what the song is needing to be the best that it can be, that we're serving it to the Lord. So when we say serve the song, it means make the song the best that it can possibly be. So when we offer to the Lord, it sounds good and there's a place to go. If we start off super hard, there's not really a place to go in that song unless the song calls for it. If it's a song that's just straight through all the way through and it's a fast-paced, more intense type of song, then that's fine. But many of them, they start off a little bit slower and they build, and it allows for dynamics to change. And tip number 5 is lead people by example. There are so many times worship teams come onto the platform and they'll stand and sing, and that's all they do is they stand in one place, they hold their microphone, and they sing. And if you turn your back to them, or close your eyes or whatever, they might sound okay, but when your eyes are open, and maybe if this is you, and sometimes nerves will do this, you get nervous to be on stage, you stand real still and you're not lifting your hands, or you're not moving or anything, you're not showing any emotion, you're just standing singing. People will follow what you're doing. So if you lead by example, if you lift up your hands in worship, you lift up both hands in worship, and you have the microphone on a stand, and you're standing there and you are with your body language worshiping the Lord, you're leading people by that example. So people will follow you. When we say, hey everybody, let's lift our hands to the Lord today, if we don't do it, if I tell people to lift their hands in worship and I don't lift my hands in worship, then people are going to follow what they see, and they're going to follow the actions that they're seeing us do. Now, if I'm playing guitar, it's kind of hard for me to lift my hands at that moment, but there are many times when I'll strum out and let the band continue to play, and that's when I'm saying, hey, let's lift up our hands in worship, and I stop playing for a moment, I lift up my hands so people can see that. So if you're on a worship team and you're a vocalist, feel free, you want to be a worshiper first before you're on the worship team. Now, sometimes we take, you're able to sing, so okay, you're on the worship team, you're able to sing. But see, we don't want just a vocalist on the platform. We want a worshiper on the platform, but also that worshiper needs to be able to sing. So if you're on a worship team and you're a vocalist, then make sure you lead the people in worship with your body language as well. Not only with your vocals, but lead people in lifting of a hand. If the Lord leads you to, or if you feel like the Lord really doesn't have to lead you to do this, but if you just feel like you need to bow before the presence of the Lord, do it. Take your microphone with you and just bow down and sing to the Lord while you're on your knees. Or we need to be open and lead people by our example. So that's tip number 5, is lead people by example. Because if you're a vocalist on a worship team, you are a worship leader. The one who's leading the team may be the worship pastor, or they may be the leader of the team. But if you're on the team, you're leading people in worship as well. You're not just a background singer, even though you may be singing that part. So you might be a background singer, or some people call it a BGV, for background vocalist. But that doesn't mean that you are in the background of the team. It just means that that's the part that you're singing. You're still leading people in worship, whether you are singing a lead part, or you are singing a background part, or you are on an instrument, or you're on the drums. Everybody on that platform is assisting each other and helping each other in leading people in worship. So when you are in front of people, you're viewed as a leader. You're viewed as a worship leader. Tips on how to be a great vocalist on the worship team. Number 1 was be willing to take constructive criticism. Number 2, don't oversing. Number 3, make eye contact with your congregation. Number 4, sing how the song is needing to be sung. And number 5, lead by example. So guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Share it with some other worship team members that you know, other band members, and help me grow this channel by hitting the subscribe button. I'm finding that most people that watch really every video on YouTube are not subscribed to the channels that they're watching a lot of. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you like the video, share it with somebody, and we'll see you guys next time on Church Talk. God bless.